Welcome back to another episode of Blind Boys Politics, and we're here with yet another Monday news show. Chris, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing amazing.
That is,
Do.
that is
I'm on a sugar high right now, I think.
great. That sets the tone for how this entire show will be then.
It's going to set the tone on how your entire night's going to be.
Good job, sir. Proud of you.
I took a start ripped my headphones right out of my ears. Might as well have took the ears with them.
So again, that just shows the tone of tonight so far.
It's going to set the tone for your night, Nick. I got a lot of things for you to do tonight.
Buddy, oh boy, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. But, I'm glad things are good with you, Nick. I didn't even ask you, but I'm assuming things are good.
Things are fantastic.
You haven't complained yet, so that's like an all-time record high for 3 minutes into an episode without Nick Ride complaining.
I know. I'm so, things are just dandy right now. Peachy, I'd say.
Hey, that's one of my catchphrases.
It's one of mine.
Peaches and cream.
Well, yeah, mine's just straight up peachy.
No, you gotta say everything's peaches and cream.
I'm good with peachy. I won't steal your catchphrase, sir.
You know, I should start copywriting my catchphrases because how many catchphrases have I told you, Nick?
Probably like a solid 8.
My favorite one is honey bunches of oats. What's yours?
I think that either that or my heart goes pitter patter.
Yep, that's the one I thought it was going to be. Because I noticed you starting to say that quite a bit.
Yeah. I don't know if I've said it here on air, but
you haven't said it on air because I think you're too embarrassed.
No, I don't mind it really. I've definitely
my little heart goes pitter patter.
My little heart goes pitter patter. But
don't forget about me say less word, me say big time.
Oh, for anyone who's been listening since the beginning, you'll know.
You'll know that catchphrases because I'm pretty sure I've said them all at one point besides the honey bunches of oats one.
Quite possibly.
I know I've said the pitter patter one at least once.
Yeah, for sure.
But Nick, let's be a little serious. Every week, people trust news reporters to deliver the truth of the news, and everyone's human. People make mistakes. Well,
yes, that's very true.
When people make mistakes, people should own up to their mistakes.
Okay. Yeah.
And, it seems like now not to get political or blah, 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 blah. But it seems like a lot of people nowadays, when they make a mistake, they don't own up to that mistake.
I'll agree to that.
They don't correct themselves.
Right.
Well, I do because, I'm just...
You're just gorgeous.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. It just makes my little heart go pitter-patter when I can pick something. So, let's all roll the clip of what I said last week, which was wrong. Lee Bryce, a famous country singer, he has tested positive for COVID-19 and releasing a statement. Obviously, he won't be appearing on the ACM Awards. I think it's next week, not 100% sure, but he will not be at the ACM Awards because he tested positive for COVID-19. Okay. See, that was a very minor thing, I got it wrong. The CMA Awards are not 2 to 3 weeks ahead. They were last week, which I know that's minor. Like, I'm sure no one cares, but, I feel like it's our job to tell you the truth, and when we make a mistake, it's also our job to tell you that we screwed up and fix our mistakes.
And there we have it. Mistake has been pointed out.
Because I want you to trust us, to know that if there is a mistake made, we're going to correct it.
Oh, of course. Obviously our goal here on this show is to provide as factual information and real information as we possibly can give. So, when a mistake like that happens, whether it be from Chris or myself, that'll definitely be pointed out as soon as we catch it.
We are human and we do make mistakes, but it's part of a human thing, part of the job
part of the
fix
human
your
process.
Mistake.
Yeah.
To fix your mistake, not just kind of act like it never happened.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're definitely going to catch mistakes as much as we possibly can, and we're going to fix them again as soon as we possibly can. So, and now we have that out of the way and that mistake covered. Now we can move forward and hopefully give you guys as good as content as we've always tried to give.
Well, let's start off this beautiful Monday morning, as I'm sure that you have all heard, from Saturday to Sunday to this morning, COVID-19 is out of control.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing all-time highs.
More specifically, yesterday we had 160,000 confirmed cases in the U.S. alone. That is at an all-time high. The day before that, for reference for you, it was 147,000.
Now, of course, that's of the day of recording, which is Saturday. And now we're seeing governors threaten to shut down their states across the country. For example, in New York, Cuomo has put a curfew on the state, so like bars, restaurants, and gyms, they need to be closed by 10 p.m. and no private gatherings after that time either.
Chicago is following suit. They're doing the same exact thing. Theirs is a little different, but essentially it's the same exact thing. They have a curfew. And then Governor of Nevada is saying that if things don't turn around in our state, in the 14 days from his last press conference, which I do believe was Tuesday, November 10th, he said if in 14 days, if things have not turned around in our state, he's going to be forced to close down the state like it was way back in March and April.
Dr. Anthony Fauci has said that he doesn't expect there to be a full national shutdown. However, a lot of experts are saying that they do believe that there should be regional shutdowns based on where numbers are rising most.
Now, we told you last week, Texas hit 1 million confirmed cases. They were the first. California was the second to follow suit. They have also now hit 1 million confirmed cases in their state. Now, just to get it out of the way, I'm sure everyone's heard the rumor of the possible next administration from Joe Biden coming in and doing a countrywide shutdown for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, what you need to understand is these are all rumors. They aren't factual. They're not confirmed.
Well,
It's not set in stone. First of all, he ain't even certified president, first of all.
right.
Second of all, he's not in office yet. And third of all, these are just rumors.
Well, and
rumors are kind of like as far as you can throw them.
Even when he does get into office, again, it's as we've had to say with Trump and some of the things he's tried to do. There are processes to these things. So we really have no clue what's going to happen when he, if he does take office. Like Chris said, he's not even certified yet. So we don't have any real or, verified information about what's going to happen. So all we can do is just accept them for what they are. Rumors.
So more of that story is don't worry about it, because first of all, that won't be until the end of January.
Right.
So the country could be in a different situation. We don't know, so don't worry about it. And our final note on that is follow the CDC guidelines. Stop the spread. Wear a mask. Don't have large gatherings. Follow the recommendations. Just wear a mask.
And, especially with the whole mask situation, even if you're someone who doesn't necessarily believe in the mask, just wear it. It saves you a lot of headaches, and it saves you a lot of arguments and problems with other people if you just wear it. If you're going to be one of those people who refuses to wear a mask, you're going to run into person after person either giving you weird looks or straight up, telling you to wear your mask and getting angry at you and all that. So just wear it. It's going to save you a lot of headaches. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. Just do it.
Right. Moving on to other COVID news. The White House. COVID is spreading. There has been 31 confirmed cases in the White House.
Oh my God.
Of COVID-19, along with several Secret Service members have also been quarantined. That doesn't even include the Secret Service. That's just people that work in the White House.
Now, am I crazy to say that this is just absolutely insane that this is happening in the White House, where the president
of all places?
Yeah, where the president lives, where the president, spends his time. They have 31 outbreaks, 31 confirmed cases, not outbreaks, but 31 confirmed cases. That's insane. Yeah. That is crazy.
And that doesn't even include the Secret Service.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know a lot of people are keeping track of that, so that we wanted to throw that in real quickly. But moving on to slightly other news, Joe Biden, he's been forming his team.
That he has. First, he's named Ron Klain as his chief of staff. So little information about him. He was the White House coordinator during the Ebola situation under Obama. And he's the son of a travel agent and a construction worker.
Nick, you're probably wondering why I made you say that, why son of a travel agent and a construction worker. Well, I'm sure you've heard, but maybe not a lot of people are familiar with it, but a lot of people have problems with a lot of these politicians. They have an in with someone to get their job. They have someone in the chain that they're either related to,
right, or
they have some form of an in.
Right, and they have the money, and they have the
power,
the connections, all of that.
Right. So whenever you can highlight someone that has made it from the bottom to the top based on hard work, you like to document that. You like to kind of show it off a little bit.
Right, because you're exactly right, though. I mean, I know, throughout this entire election campaign, a lot of people were getting very hung up by the fact that so many of the candidates came from money and came from connections and stuff like that. So it is nice to see things like this. It is nice to see examples and, just examples of normal people being able to make it just through sheer hard work and effort.
That just goes to prove right now, if you're someone at the low of the food chain, nothing's stopping you from being at the top of the food chain. You just have to work hard, have to have dedication and perseverance.
Right. The problem is so many people give up because they think that it's impossible to break the wall of wealth. However, this is a clear example of just the opposite, that it is possible to break through that wall, that it is possible to make make your name in such a high area of work and high area of the government. And it just shows that you can do what you want to do. Doesn't matter if wealth consumes a large part of the industry or a large part of the field. If you want it, just continue to go for it.
Nothing's stopping. But so now that we got his chief of staff named, he's got his COVID task force named. COVID's out of control. This is a perfect timing for the Pfizer vaccine to be coming out. Kinda, sorta, maybe.
Question mark? See, there are claims right now on this vaccine that it's 90% effective. Dr. Anthony Fauci does say that it could be more.
Now, of course, with anything, there are three main concerns with this right now, and that is it needs to be kept at negative 134 degrees. Now, if you're not working with this or in the medical field or have any lab experience, let me tell you, that is the temperature of dry ice. Now, negative 134 degrees, that takes special equipment. That special equipment cost a fortune. So this is mainly going to be distributed at larger lab facilities that, does the all-in-one, if you go somewhere to take your blood and they do the lab testing in the house, that's where it would be done, or at the hospital. Well, with it being done at the hospital, that also brings up the concern that the hospitals are a little packed full right now. So they don't have much room for that. And to add on to that, this is a 2-shot vaccine.
Oh, boy. So, I mean, as you can see by those different stipulations on the whole thing and different concerns, it's a little tricky, and it'll be interesting to see how they roll this out over time. But speaking of that, they are saying that they could be getting the vaccine to frontline workers within the next 2 weeks, and then they are going to try and get it out to everyone else in the new year.
So that's where the vaccine sits right now. It looks like that's going to be the first one that's going to be available to roll out. There is another one.
It'll just be interesting to see what happens, because obviously states do need to approve the vaccine before it does enter. There are states right now that are not approving of the vaccine until it is officially FDA approved. So it'll be interesting, like I said, to see just how things end up playing out from here, moving forward.
Right. So that's where we stand on a vaccine. Kind of good news. If everything works out.
Right. It could be a plus, but we'll just have to wait and see the effects
of it. A little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But election certification started Friday, Nick.
Yeah, so a bit a little different news moving away from COVID. Yeah, like you said, Chris, we are going to be starting election certification here soon. Now, all certification does need to be done by December 14th. That is the deadline. All court cases need to be done. Just everything needs to be set in stone so that the electors can vote.
So, if you're wondering why everything needs to be done on the 14th, it's because that's when the electors send in the votes to be counted. So, everything needs to be done. States need to be certified. Everything needs to be done. So, there's nothing that's going to delay those. Court cases, even if they're still going through the courts, they're done on the 14th.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing that can be done. They they have a schedule. They plan to follow it, and no court case, no complaint, nothing. Nothing's going to stop the December 14th deadline. It's all going to be set in stone after that date.
But that sets the segue right into our next topic. And that's talking about what the current president, now this is assuming that Joe Biden is certified, he's inaugurated on January 20th, between now and January 20th, we're entered in the lame duck session. If you don't know what that is, go listen to our previous episode when we announced Joe Biden is the projected winner. But a lot of people are wondering what the actual current president, Donald Trump, can do between now and then. And to be honest, he still does have quite a bit of power because he is still the president.
Right.
Some things that he can do, but can't be undone by Joe Biden when he takes inauguration is declassifying sensitive information or military actions like missile strikes and presidential pardons.
Now, there are things that can be undone by the incoming president. So any executive orders, the hiring and firing of different people, and also last-minute rule changes called midnight regulation.
Now, believe it or not, midnight regulations have actually been going on since the presidency of Jimmy Carter. And the whole point of these midnight regulations is to slow down the incoming president from what his first priorities of being in office would be.
Right.
Now, of course, Congress has its own review powers, so they can. It's not just like they can do. The lame duck president can do whatever he wants. It obviously still works normally. He has to go through Congress and all that. But the president, he's still the president until January 20th, so he can do everything that he would have been doing if he won re-election.
Yeah, so pretty much just president continues being the president until he's no longer the president, officially.
Now, let's move out of some political news.
We're going to TikTok.
And we got 2 stories for TikTok that is excellent news.
Excellent news.
So basically, the government kind of forgot about them. Trump's executive order that would ban TikTok as of Thursday, Thursday, November 12th, was obviously put on pause because if you have TikTok, you open it right now and it's fully functional.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Nick, he was very happy about that.
Hey, sometimes I just, when you open TikTok, you just kind of get sucked in.
You do. It's bad sometimes.
Like, I'll open the app, and I'll just want to look at, a couple TikToks, or Chris will send me something, and next thing I know, it's about 45 minutes later.
There's been times where he spam texts me TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
12 at a time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, this all happened after a federal judge in Pennsylvania allowed the injunction. Now, there is still concerns that TikTok has is that the executive order requires a sale of TikTok. Now, they filed a 50-page appeals case filed in the Washington says that they have been working with the U.S. government over a year in good faith to address all, what they put in quotations, all national security threats.
Of course, TikTok claims there are no national security threats to begin with, but...
Now, the Trump administration gave blessing on the Oracle Walmart deal almost 2 months ago. Since then, TikTok has heard zero feedback from CIFIS. Now, CIFIS, if you're not aware, is the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States.
So, what TikTok wants currently is for the judge to grant a 30-day extension to hopefully get CIFIS back into the sale process so they actually have an opportunity to get the app sold.
Now, the best case scenario, what TikTok has been praying for, is for the judge just to completely forget about the ban and throw it out. Throw it in the garbage can.
Just say, we're done with this. Goodbye.
Now, that was a few days, not a few days before recording, but, it was...
Pretty recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recent, and then a few days after that, this happened. TikTok is staying for now, Nick.
Yes, it is.
TikTok filed a petition in the appellate court in Washington, D.C., saying that the government forgot about them when it comes to the sale of the company. That's kind of sad. But okay.
I mean, bigger fish to fry, right?
Yeah. The judge was like, all right. So the judge gave them a new deadline of December 14th and December 28th for ByteDance and the U.S. government to have submitted new documents. The Trump administration has filed a compliance order in the Federal Register yesterday, acknowledging that the PA judge put the pause on the November 12th ban because of those 3 TikTokers that we talked about last week. That's not all. Now, the extension recognizes that the Trump administration will not ban while anything is in legal action by TikTok or the Trump administration involving the two together. So all the lawsuits need to be dropped, put away before the ban can go into effect. And of course, the Trump administration is appealing all of this.
Of course. You know, overall, after everything we reported on TikTok since the beginning of August, up until the 12th, I had a thought in the back of my mind, probably about midway through the proceedings, where I guessed that we would report on this and report on it, then just nothing would happen. And here we are, and the government forgot about them.
Now, a lot of people are saying that TikTok can just drag this out until January 20th, assuming that Joe Biden is certified he is the new president. Now, in theory, yeah, that's a great idea. But Joe Biden has not come forward with an official statement on his stance of TikTok.
Right.
So he could either say, yeah, I agree with this executive order, we want to follow through with it, or he can say, you know what, I don't care, and just throw it out. Now, what I can tell you is that he does not allow anyone that works on the campaign to have TikTok downloaded on their phone, so that's kind of like that's either just...
Either coincidence
or
a red flag.
Take that as you will.
Yeah. It could purely just be coincidence, but who knows? It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens come January 20th if Joe Biden is certified. At the end of the day, for now, with the government forgetting about them, obviously they're a bigger fish to fry right now.
We'll see what happens after the 28th of December.
Yeah, so again, we're just currently sitting on our hands waiting like we were a while back with the TikTok situation.
Here's what I can tell you. This is a messy situation.
No doubt about it. And
I get a feeling either way, this is not going to go down without a fight. Neither are backing down from this at all. They're going head to head at this. So it's not just going to peacefully disappear.
Well, and we said that when the 3 TikTokers came forward.
And I will continue saying this until there's a resolution.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a messy situation. There's lawsuit after lawsuit. There's appeal after appeal. There's injunction after injunction. There's just so many things, even for myself, that has to read these court cases. Some of them are 108 pages long. God bless my heart on some of these. Just to keep them straight in my head is making me want to go, just scream.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot to take in.
It's a big court case.
Yeah.
And there's several of them.
Well...
And then when you file an appeal, that's even more filing.
Well, and it's crazy to think that a simple app, could cause such controversy and such chaos in the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane.
But that's what we got for this week. We got COVID. Joe Biden's announcing his team members slowly but surely. Vaccine, TikTok. Ready to get into some rapid news, Nick?
All right, so here we go. So first we have Ring doorbells. 350,000 doorbells are being recalled because they have been catching on fire.
The 13-inch MacBook Air has just been released, and they're starting at $999.
The new MacBook Pro has been released also and is starting at $1,299.
And finally, we have had 30 tropical storms this year so far, with more coming. That is it for Rapid News this week. As always, I hope you enjoyed them, and let's get right into Good News, my favorite segment. What do you got for us, Nick?
Alrighty, let's do this. So this week we have, last week we talked about, siblings being kept together. A man adopted 5 kids who were all siblings. Well, this time we have good news about our furry little friends, our nice pets. So specifically, in Washington State, there was a couple who had a cat named Panda. And Panda, the family lived on, I think it was like a 40-acre plot of land. So the cat was an outdoor cat generally, and he liked to roam the property. So sometimes they wouldn't see him for, a day or two. Well, after a while, they realized that he'd been gone longer than normal. So they had like a group of 10 people looking around for him, trying to see if there were any trace of him anywhere, on the property and in the town. Well, they didn't find anything. Well, a couple weeks later, one of the family members came running to the property of the couple, and they had their phone, and they show it to the wife and goes, "Isn't this Panda?" And wife looks at the phone, just immediately starts bawling. She realizes her cat has made it to Alaska. He was found at a Home Depot in Alaska, and immediately afterwards, they were notified that an animal rescue organization known as United Angels were working on getting Panda home. Because there were so many hoops to jump through to get the cat back home. And it was going to be really expensive. So United Angels, along with a couple other organizations and individual people, were raising money to get through all the processes so that the family didn't have to pay for it. So they had to get like a certificate from a vet saying that he could be put on a plane. So then he was flown from Alaska, and he had to take a couple different flights. I can't exactly remember to where the first flight went to, but then he did end up back in Washington State, where he met up with his owners once again. He was home. He was safe. They said that besides losing a bit of weight, and he was slightly dehydrated, but otherwise he was completely healthy. As for how he ended up in Alaska from Washington State, they suspect he ended up either on a boat headed towards Alaska or on a truck. Since he ended up at the Home Depot, they think that it could have been a truck that was delivering to that store. But the woman owner, she commented, and she said that Panda is kind of confined to the house now. He's got more toys, he's got more treats, he's more spoiled than ever, just to keep him happy, to keep him in the house. He's on permanent ground, he's permanently grounded.
That's a great story, and it's kind of crazy to think about how he went from Washington State to Alaska, but I'm glad he finally made it home after that long journey. I'm sure he's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, but who knows, he might be planning a trip to Europe next.
I have a cat, and Chris, you have a cat. I know full well that if my cat just wandered off and got lost, oh my god, I'd be so distraught.
I don't have to worry about that, because when my cat goes outside, she sits on a rock, and the farthest she goes is to the neighbors. And she worries more about her gut than anything, so she's back within an hour.
My cat did wander off once for 24 hours. I mean, so lucky he came back the next day.
I mean, hell, I've forgotten my cat outside before, and she's just waiting there the next morning. But that's how she survived her first year. She was born outside, so it's like nothing to her that one time. But
right.
she came running in the house, and first thing she did was purr, run into me, and then go eat. But that is all we got for this week's episode. Of course, we'll be here Wednesday morning for our second episode of Dumb Laws. This week we are visiting Alaska. Isn't that funny how that good news story worked out? Maybe. Too bad we didn't time that right. We could have brought the cat home with us.
I know.
But we'll be here Wednesday morning and then Friday morning, of course, for your regular news. But until then, make sure you follow us on all social medias. Links are down in the show notes below because you definitely want to keep up with us in between uploads. And if there is a news story that you want us to cover, just DM us on Twitter and it will be in our Friday morning episode. Until Wednesday morning, see ya.
All right. Chris set it off. Bye, guys.